What's going on, Midlothian? We're back. We're live. We're direct. We're in the house live from Wilson's Seafood here in Founders Row, Midlothian, Texas. Cement City Chatter Podcast coming to you live for our third season. It's been a while, but we're glad to be back and glad to see you. To my right,
third season?
It's third season, fourth season.
Fourth season, I think.
Fourth season?
Yeah.
Okay. Fourth season total, third season reboot. But
yeah.
Nevertheless,
we're
across
here
from me,
are.
always here to educate, reprimand,
and just bring down the room in general.
and all the above. Midlothian's most sexy meddler, Mr. Tim Wilkins. What's going on, buddy?
Oh man, Rob. You know what? I tell you what. I have missed your intros. I have missed it.
My intros. How did we get to where we're doing live broadcasts from places in town? It's
I don't know.
Very, very surreal because in the studio
nice tonight.
It's kind of my mojo. In the studio, I go. To my right, as always, live from the Opoka Palace, Mr. John Opoka. But we're not in the Opoka Palace.
No,
we're in the Wilson Palace.
We're in the Wilson Palace.
But nevertheless, Mr. John Opoka, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You've been busy. I've seen your social media posts. You guys are doing big things over there at Cement City Customs. Everybody's getting stereos and lifts, and I've got some new rims on my truck. I mean,
you got a new stereo in your truck,
and
too.
I did get a new stereo. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We can hear you all the way across the parking lot.
I try. I'm working on the warranty on these things. See, when you get a stereo system from Cement City Customs, John's very quick to tell you, okay, listen, these speakers are warranted. Anything happens within a certain time, you just replace them.
Yeah.
It's a great warranty. So it's my mission to find out if the speaker manufacturers have actually built those speakers up to par.
Well, they have. And you're a good test subject, so it's going to happen.
Mine goes up to 30.
Well, that's where I tuned it.
My stereo goes up to 30. I listen to the news on 27. So
yeah, huh?
My car has a sense of humor. The volume goes to 11. Seriously,
to 11.
To 11. Yeah, you know the old Spinal Tap reference, right?
Right, but what car is that? Is your Tesla?
My Tesla.
Yeah, because that's right. You got rid of your Jeep.
Yeah, I still got my Tesla. I got the truck now, but Teslas are the only cars with a sense of humor. No, seriously, you have ludicrous speed and you go plaid and. When on the self-driving mode, you tell it how aggressively you want the self-driving to be.
Right.
And the most aggressive setting is called Mad Max.
Huh.
So,
it feels like I haven't seen you guys forever. I've been at home with the French Bulldogs, got a brand new litter, and then the shop has been so busy. I've seen I haven't seen anybody, so this is kind of the first time I've seen you all in weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, when did we last record?
It's been a while.
Rob, what have you been up to?
I don't know, but back to Tim's mentioning of the Tesla innuendos.
I get a dollar every time I say the word Tesla.
Listen, if I had $300 million, I'd make it fun too.
Right?
Or $300 billion.
I was going to say
$300 billion. Wow.
You got 3 commas now, huh?
Sorry, I was checking my bank account before I got here. But anyways,
Rob got that sweet 9 digits.
Right.
Yeah, right. Anyhow.
So tell us what's been going on with you, Rob.
Oh, nothing, guys.
My checking account has 3 digits. I'm a 100-air.
There you go. Got to start somewhere. No, man, look, it's beautiful out here tonight on the patio of Wilson's Seafood here in Founders Row.
That's one of the great things about Wilson's in general and specifically the patio is you're in Founders Row. And just every direction.
We're in the center of town. We have a clear view. I hear fire trucks in the background. Our first responders going to take care of the community.
Yeah.
Beautiful night out here.
Yep.
The weather is outstanding. It's a little warm earlier, but man, I tell you what, it's nice right now. The sun has dipped below the horizon for those of you watching the show, and man, we're just having a good time here.
Yeah. It wouldn't be Midlothian unless there was a fire truck going by during the podcast. It's either fire trucks or we have airplanes.
Oh, wait till the train comes by.
Oh yeah, what time's that? 8 o'clock.
Oh, it's multiple. I live a few blocks from here, and
I don't think I'm not sure there's a set schedule, but the way it works with us, I'm sure we'll encounter it during this podcast at some point if we're lucky.
Oh, absolutely.
But man, summer's starting to wind down. The weather's, the 107s aren't so consistent anymore. We've got...
no, we're down to double-digit weather occasionally instead of just triple-digit all the time. I tell you what, school's back in, so the kids are doing their thing.
Right. Working that hybrid schedule.
Oh, man, I tell you what. Yeah, there's a football game right now. Like right this minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
And normally I would be at the football game.
That's why you're hurrying me today, huh?
Well, no, I'm not going to be able to make it in time. For some people know I'm a band booster, and I work in the pit crew, so I push stuff around on the field and that sort of thing. And so all the band boosters are in full swing. We're, constructing props on the weekends and pushing stuff around during the week. And so
does that ramp up getting ready for homecoming, or?
Well, I mean, it's not so much a ramp up for any particular game. The band does shows and showcases during the year, and so they're ramping up towards that. And this I believe is a state year, so they'll have the opportunity to potentially go to state, just if they do well enough. So
yeah, well, great. So how is the football team doing this year?
Well, the last game was in Waco. That was last Friday, and we won 41-0.
That's MHS, right?
Yeah. So, Rob.
So
do you keep track of Heritage?
I do. All my buddies play football there. I say my buddies, my kids' buddies,
kids,
and actually one of my sons is playing right now. They're JVs out in China Springs tonight.
Okay.
But I don't think our varsity. I think Heritage Varsity's won them all so far.
Yeah, we're not undefeated, but we walked all over Waco last week. It was actually a little embarrassing. We scored 41 points prior to the half, and after the half, I think Coach Wendell was just rotating people through, trying to get their stats up.
Yeah.
So, what do you know about this? We've got a new superintendent.
Oh, well, it was made official a couple days ago.
Yeah, it was, Mr. Belding, and which I thought was humorous. So did a lot of other people in the community that are our age that grew up watching Saved by the Bell back in the day, Mr. Belding. But somebody put on social media, we've got our own real-life Mr. Belding now. Anything...
I'm sorry, it's Dr. Belding.
Yeah, Dr. Belding. Yeah, I mean, obviously you have to have a doctor.
Well, he's also the superintendent, not the principal, but, that's fine.
Right.
Which,
But yeah, so they actually selected him, I guess, a little while back. They announced that he was the sole finalist. But, you can't just automatically determine somebody's the superintendent. There's a whole process. So even when they've picked one out, and it's basically the school board is the one responsible for that. Even when they've decided on somebody, there's a certain amount of time it takes to go through the bureaucracy of it all. And so we've known that he was going to be the superintendent, I think, for about 4 weeks now. But it's official now, and he has actually trying to come to Midlothian for a while. He actually applied to be the band director. They wound up hiring Mr. Doran. I don't know if you guys know this, but the current MHS band director has been the band director for 35 years or something like that.
No, wow.
Yeah, and Tiffany will be late today, but her husband had Mr. Doran when he was in band, and now my son has, and Sean's younger than I am, and so my son has Mr. Doran for band, and so Sean and my son talk about Mr. Doran, 2 generations of people having done band with him. But anyway, Dr. Belding applied for the band director back 30-something years ago, and he's had his eye on Midlothian. He came from, I believe, Aubrey, Texas?
Yeah, that's what I read.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that was off. That was my
smaller, but Aubrey's a nice community up. I guess
they are really growing. They're a little behind us as far as growth. We're up. I think the school service is around 50,000 people now. That's not just within the city limits, obviously. But they're behind us in total students, but they've been growing like crazy. And so he's got some good experience overseeing some growth in the school system, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm glad to have him.
Yeah.
Everybody seems pretty excited about them. So, for now at least.
Yeah.
You know, keeping up with Midlothian Independent School District is always an exciting time. Nevertheless.
Yeah, well, you know, there's always drama. You know, we had all those bonds fail this last time around, and
so what's the plan with that now?
Well, you know, still need
because we're still in the same position we were when the bonds failed with needing
personally
two elementary schools in a year and a half or whatnot.
So if we don't break ground on one of the elementaries, we actually lose the land. The land was gifted to us.
Oh my goodness.
And we may wind up losing the land as a result of these bonds not going through. So when we do build another school, it'll cost even more since we'll have to buy land for it. I personally really would love to see a real CTE school. Career tech education. I don't remember what CTE.
Right.
It's basically what we used to call what we used to call the trade school back when we were in high school, right?
Yeah.
Welding and plumbing and electrician and all the trades. What some people may call blue collar, but I'll tell you what, those people make as much as some doctors. Seriously.
No, absolutely. Let me tell you another thing. This community of Midlothian is filled with blue collar millionaires.
Oh yeah.
It's a fact.
Career and technical education.
So definitely, I would wholeheartedly support something like that. You know,
I'd love to see it. Now we have a lot of people will call the Mile. If you're familiar with the Mile, they'll call that a CTE school, and I mean technically it is career and technical education. But the programs they have there, they don't have much in the way of what I would call blue collar. Vocations. They've got an entrepreneurial program, which I think is fantastic. They've got a cybersecurity program, and that's where I am. Hopefully I'll get invited back to speak to the program again this year.
Right.
They've got an engineering program and they've got a culinary program, and so they've got quite a bit available to our students, but like I would love to see some of those good dirty fingernail trades that will make people money, give people great careers, as long as they want, lifelong careers.
For sure. I mean,
let Sean know we're rolling.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, and for those who can't see, hey, Savannah, come over here real quick. Why don't you look in this camera right here? Hi. This is my friend Savannah. Hi. She is here most days, as it turns out. She's going to get married in about 2 weeks, and she's saving up for the wedding. Yes. She is the bartender here very often, so you guys come down to Wilson's and say hi to Savannah. Leave her a good tip. She's going to need it. It's expensive to be married. She's a
really good waitress, too.
Awesome.
Yeah, my daughter used to work here. Well, let's just say she works here during the summers.
Yeah, she was here all summer. She was one of the first, or the first group to get hired.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact.
Yep. As a matter of fact, when we had the show with Sean and he invited us down here early to kind of sample some of the food, I met the guy managing the place at the time. His name was Mike. And he said that they were hiring. They had a big sign out front hiring it. And
I think she did her interview right on the spot.
Yeah. So he said, "Hey, call your daughter right now. I'll give her, tell her to come down here. I'll give her a job." So I called her. She came down.
She worked all summer.
She worked, and what's fun? I mean, as a father, you always want to hear the best, about your kids. But I had a lot of people telling me that they didn't even know that she was my daughter. And they were just, they said she did great. No,
100%. Yeah. The couple larger groups that we had up here, and you were part of all of them, or at least most of them. She took care of those tables, 15 plus people. So it was.
She's off in Abilene again, majoring in engineering.
Well,
well, that's great.
At least she's got a place to come home to, and businesses like this, that are in our community that hold jobs for seasonal purposes and whatnot.
Yeah, she said she really enjoyed working here and working for Sean too.
So how about
he's just a great guy.
He really is.
No,
really
for
is.
sure, for sure.
Really
I'm glad
good
he chose Midlothian to reboot. His father's.
This is a much better location for his dream to be executed.
So who's drove by the Lawson Building lately?
Oh, I mean,
It's
I
a
drive
shell.
by it all the time.
They're getting it. I mean,
I live right by there.
It's
so.
it's definitely got some momentum going now.
Yeah.
They're in there.
And we've gotten to see the blueprints or the floor plans that they've got for that. They've got retail area downstairs out front with like a glass storefront. They've got some studio office space in the back. There's going to be a brewery there. Danny Hammond's, Anna Hammond's husband. Anna is a council person.
Right.
He is starting a brewery, and that is the anchor business for that building. And so they're going to have, starting out, there's going to be a coffee shop / bookstore taking up 2 of the retail spots. I'm interested to see if that sticks around, because we don't have a good track record of keeping coffee shops that don't have drive-thrus in Midlothian.
Right.
It's just a thing. So I'm interested to see if that'll stick around. I hope it does, but there will be some boutiques. They've already got all the retail space booked up out front. I noticed most of them were lady boutiques,
Right.
dresses and that sort of thing. So,
Did you want a men's boutique?
I want a men's boutique.
Rob, I don't think I need a men's boutique. If I needed nice clothing, I would just come. I would get you to take me shopping.
No, but I think Midlothian needs something for the men. I mean, we like to dress nice, right? Rob? Yeah, I know you like
Rob
to dress
dresses
nice.
Rob is the best dresser among us, for sure.
No.
For sure. I just wear crazy shirts that make people smile. Rob has a real sense of style.
No.
So, but no. So and
most
then,
days I just throw it together.
There's a second floor going into the Lawson Building. That's going to be some efficiency residences and some dedicated Airbnb spaces.
Yep.
So
I don't like that idea. Still don't like the idea.
well,
Don't like it.
I think there's a certain time in my life I wouldn't mind living over the top of a brewery and Chinese restaurant, in Midlothian.
No, I mean, for sure, there's definitely a market for it. Although, you don't know until you try it. Guess what? If that's the beautiful thing about owning the building.
Mm-hmm. You get to do what you want, right?
You get to do what you want.
As long as the city okays it.
And not to mention, the guy that owns the building owns a construction company, too. So
same guy that owns Union 28.
So if you find something that doesn't work, guess what? You can tear down some walls, build some walls, turn it into something else, utilize the space.
All right, well, I've got a question. What's going to happen when the Airbnbs and the VRBOs get out of hand, like in Plano, and now we have a situation where they're trying to get them removed from towns?
Or what's out of hand?
Well, I mean, parties, raves. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that happens.
Okay.
Do you not keep up what's going on in Plano?
I don't.
No, I don't.
Well, you need to. It's a hot button right now. So what's going to happen when that happens?
Well, I don't know. I guess you'd have to, give me a little bit more what's going on there.
Well, I will do some research and present it to you. But yeah, it was on the news not too long ago.
Oh, I don't watch the news. I will.
I know you watch YouTube. Watch this part of it.
I will read my news on the internet and cross check it while I'm reading it. I don't like to. I don't watch any TV really, and so I don't just idly consume stuff. I will sit down and purposefully read news, and as I'm reading it, trying to be getting a second source on it as well.
Well, this was actually the city council meeting, the presentation.
Give us a little. So what happened? They've got Airbnbs and.
Because one of the biggest problems that cities have had with Airbnbs is just they want a bigger cut. Now I don't know if that's what's going on in Plano, but at any rate,
I don't know. I would never.
It's like a hotel. What's the difference between some Airbnbs or somebody renting a hotel room and partying it up? And
okay,
there's really no difference.
If you're a homeowner and you live in a neighborhood and your next door neighbor owns an Airbnb and there's constantly people coming in and out. That I don't know.
Well, that's why a lot of HOAs control rentals and things like that.
Correct.
And that's people are down on HOAs, and I understand why.
Okay,
but that's one of the reasons that HOAs exists.
But why would you want an Airbnb in a non-vacation type area?
Yeah,
I guess they still.
Well, for something like that building, it's an easy way to have like a small hotel style thing without having a hotel corporation.
Right. Well, that's in the middle of town.
And Airbnb has insurance and all that. So.
Yeah, that's in the middle of town in an urban living area.
Right.
Yeah. Which, like you said, is very popular for you. You would at a time in your life at a certain age, but that's also comes into play. Okay.
But to answer your other question, I tend to use VRBO more than I use Airbnb. But yeah, I routinely rent houses when I travel. I have 4 kids. And
it's valid, right?
Last couple of years, I've been traveling with multiple families, so it's easier to just get a big house. A couple of years ago, we got a literal mansion in Telluride, Colorado, and we had multiple families and multiple generations staying in the same house, and we all went jeeping on the trails.
That's different than what Plano's experiencing, and so I understand that. I mean, there's a place for it, but there's also, times it gets out of hand.
Yeah, well.
So I'm just hoping it doesn't happen. Did you read that?
It can get out of hand at hotels. Hey, it looks like we got some food to try. What do you got for us?
The firecracker fish.
Firecracker fish?
Oh, that is.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently the ladies have ordered that. All right.
Good to go. Hey, how are you?
Is that for the ladies or for us?
I don't know. Who had the firecracker shrimp?
That's them.
I think that's
good. That would be
all
us.
right. So Sean has sent some firecracker shrimp out for us to try. Oh, and there's our crab cakes. All right, good stuff.
Excellent.
So we have crab cakes and firecracker shrimp. I know you're all over the firecracker shrimp, right, John?
Oh,
That's
the firecracker shrimp is good, and actually he makes what's called a firecracker. Okay, see if I can talk. Firecracker fish as well. What he does is he's the same recipe, but he uses catfish as well.
Okay,
it's really good.
Oh, maybe I'll try that next time.
You want this?
Sure, I'll try.
Yeah,
this.
John, give that to John.
Dude, firecracker.
I'm gonna have some of this crab cake.
Ow.
This is the firecracker fish that they ordered.
That's hot.
That's delicious.
It's delicious.
All right. So the crab cake is delicious, and a proper crab cake is more crab than it is cake,
Right.
and that's what this is. So this is the firecracker fish.
It's good stuff.
So we were eating here about a month or so ago. And we were eating here about a month or so ago, and then he brought that to us to try.
Yeah.
And it was just really, really good. And I posted it on my Facebook. I said, I don't know if I can say what the name is, but
that is really good.
Really good.
So yeah, that is that firecracker sauce, I guess. So it's a nice light breading. So it doesn't. It's not real heavy. It's not dominated by the breading, but it's got a sauce that's got a little bit of heat to it. Not too bad. It has a lot of flavor.
What is this supposed to be?
That is firecracker fish.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's got good flavor for sure.
Yeah, that is delicious. I'm going to have some more of this crab cake. Yeah, this is what I get for waiting until almost 8 o'clock at night to eat.
It happens. So what else just recently opened here in Founders Row? I believe it's called...
is that Pearls and Petals? Or wait.
No, it's...
Our fact checker is on it. It's right... Copper Rose. The Copper Rose. That's what it is. And it's next to... Is it Pistils and Pearls?
No, I thought it was called...
Where's Porch Pour right there, and then there's the two boutiques. By the way, have y'all seen the world's smallest car museum over here?
Mm-hmm.
It is awesome. For those
Stephen
know,
Houdeball has an amazing car collection, and what he's going to do is he's going to rotate his cars through here. And originally, when the Lawson building was up for bid, he wanted to put a car museum over there, and of course that was shot down.
Really?
But so he uses it here then.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever.
He's really into like the Depression era gangster cars.
Yes.
And they are cool.
Oh, yeah, Al Capone style.
Yes.
For sure.
And his collection is amazing.
Seriously cool.
Yeah.
So if you guys come down to Founders Row, in the center is a small building. I think they've just got like 3 cars in it.
Right next to Porch Pour.
Yeah, but they're going to, I guess, rotate through. Sometimes it's open. Sometimes you can just look through the windows. But there are some gorgeous cars in there. So, yeah, check that out while you're down here.
Yeah, his stuff is pristine.
Guys, take your lady down here to Wilson's or to Porch Pour, and check out the cars while you're here.
Also Wilson's, they just don't do seafood. They got steaks too, and they're amazing.
This
Good
is
price
the best
point.
This is the best steak in town, and it's not the most expensive either.
No, I really enjoy it here.
Oh, yeah.
All the food's delicious. Most of the time when I come here, I get the ribeye, though.
Do you? I've had it here.
Right now, pass that menu over here. I think, let me see if the price has changed before I put my foot in my mouth, as usual. But, $35. You got the best steak in town for $35 here at Wilson's. And that's one of those things you won't hear about because, it's a seafood place. And who goes to a seafood place to order steak? Well, I mean, I do, but...
Yeah, but we go back to Copper Rose. They actually have another location as well, and it's in Waxahachie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they just kicked off their grand opening, I believe. Was it grand opening or just opened the door? I don't know if it's official yet, but they did open the door a couple weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was a grand opening.
Yeah, I think it's open now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there were people talking about it in Midlothian Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have did y'all read about the problem about the airport? Do you know anything about it?
A little bit.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
So basically, if you want a hangar at Midway Airport, okay, for those that don't know, Midway Airport is the airport that is midway between Midlothian and Waxahachie. And a lot of people don't even know it's there, but some people, see the sign on the road, but, on 287.
Right.
But there are a handful of hangars up there. I think there's 5 hangars, but don't hold me to that. There's not a ton of hangars. And there is a multi-year wait to get a hangar. Okay?
Really?
Yes.
No, you can't get a hangar there.
It's full, yeah. So you basically have to wait for somebody to leave to get a hangar. And, it's going to be years at this point. And so they've talked about building additional hangars. And the 2 cities have boards that in the past have been advisory boards, or I'm sorry, not advisory boards, have been decision boards on, that work together on the airport.
Yeah.
And they're in some part of the process of getting additional hangars put in. And so apparently there's been a company come along, and now this is all second, third hand, what people in the Navy would call scuttlebutt, right?
Uh-huh.
But apparently there's a company with a little bit of money throwing its weight around saying that they want 3 hangars and that they're willing to, pay for certain things to happen at the airport.
They already have a jet currently housed there.
If the airport kicks out the tenants that are currently in 3 hangars and gives them those 3 hangars.
That's not right.
Well,
why would they do that if someone's paying their fee?
Because this particular guy has multiple planes. He has a jet parked there, and he can, out of his pocketbook, do whatever the improvements need to be done. But, he's got to have it. I guess this is his, thought process.
Well, there's also at the same time, the Waxahachie City Council just devalued the Waxahachie Airport Board down to an advisory council.
Oh, okay.
So they used to be the ones that made decisions. Now, the City Council has apparently made the decision to just make those, that board becomes a group of people that make recommendations for the City Council to make decisions about the airport. And so you now have City Council people who probably don't know much about airports making decisions about the airport.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how that goes.
Well,
There's our train.
Yep.
There's
comes
the train. Yep.
Well, I have all the confidence in the world that this will get handled because the Midway board, at least on the Midlothian side, is probably comprised of some people that actually do know how to run it. And, I'm sure Walter's got, some knowledge about this, and I'm sure it'll get handled.
Yeah, but Walter's not on the city council anymore, so how's that going?
Well, I don't know if this being on the city council is that. Well, I guess they did. They did go in front of council Tuesday before last, right?
Well, yeah, and from my understanding, there's been a few people change over on the airport board recently.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So, like Mike Williams, Doc, is not on the board anymore, from what I understand. That's what I was told.
Was he kicked off, or did he resign?
I
do you
don't know. I
anything?
was just told he's not on the board anymore.
Oh, that's a shame. He's a really nice guy.
Oh yeah.
Actually, Doc, he took care of
Sean's dad.
Sean's dad when he was dying.
Yep.
So didn't he actually? I think
and they're always trying to get me out there to skydive with them. So
yeah. Well, don't they do? Do they do the gliders as well, or is that somebody else? Okay.
No. They just started doing the gliders down there south of town. And let's see, Mike flies a lot. Joanne, I think, is in the process of getting her pilot's license. They both skydive. They both have their license. I think they just started the gliders within the last year.
Great.
But they're a real interesting couple too.
Oh yeah, they're good.
So they're pretty involved in the aviation. Maybe we should talk to them and get their side and see what they think.
Yeah, I was thinking about calling Mike, just kind of get his take on this whole thing, because he has a heart for the community. He has a heart for the airport. So I kind of want to know what happened with him on the board.
Yeah,
from him. So anyway, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. With the airport, I think, for a lot of people, it's one of those things, they don't even know there's an airport there, much less they don't care who's in the hangars because they don't have a plane.
Right.
But, this kind of thing can affect our economy in Midlothian. It affects our taxes and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Speaking of taxes, did you hear the city launched the highest legal homestead exemption for city taxes?
I did hear that.
20%.
That's what Councilman Mike Rogers was mentioning.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, all the council people had something to do with it, and all of them, I'm sure, would love to take credit because it is a great thing.
Oh, absolutely. He's who I've heard the news from. So.
Yeah. But yeah, they were definitely, but they all voted for it, except for the one person who just wasn't there. But he probably would have voted for it. So anyway, the city now has the highest homestead exemption in the state for city taxes. We also recently passed a city tax exemption for disabled homeowners. And I don't know what the criteria for that is, but we basically said, if you are in Midlothian and you qualify as disabled, however that works, then they either freeze your taxes or you don't. I think you might not have to pay taxes. I'm not really sure what the deal is on that. But we've got some city council people working on lowering our taxes. And then also making sure what taxes we do have get spent where the people want it, which people seem to like their roads around here and their parks and that sort of thing. So we've got a vibrant park board. If Tiffany ever shows up, she can talk to us about the Keep Midlothian Beautiful. It's a subset of the park board, and they do all sorts of stuff. They handle things like landscaping on the side of the road and that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Just make stuff look nicer in town.
And if she doesn't make it, that's okay. We don't have to.
She's sitting in the park.
Is she right over there?
We don't have
Can
to dish.
See her?
We don't have to dish it all out in one night.
Right. So.
Okay. Yeah. I thought maybe she was walking up behind me or something. The way you were looking. No, Tiffany is here.
Where's our mayor?
The current mayor, I'm not sure. Current mayor is at the football game.
Oh, okay.
I bet you. The former mayor is actually here.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Richard Reno's inside. I poked my head in a minute ago to get some
there having
ice,
dinner?
and he was in there.
Yeah, just talk to Sean. He's going to come out and say hi. Richard was just leaving when I walked in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, our fact checker just told us that Richard left already. But
so I can tell you what, Walnut Grove Road is turning into a mess. I don't know if you guys have been down there lately, but
I try not to. I'll be honest. I come across when I go to your place. You're over there by Heritage High School.
That's where I see. I
come across 1387. I risk my life in the S turn, so I don't have to go in Walnut Grove.
That's something we haven't seen any accidents on the S curve in a while. I think everyone got the hint. Slow down.
I think that's survival of the fittest. I'm sorry, it's not that big of an S. It's not that big of a turn. Whatever. It's people, and it's a 35 zone. It's people that going into it too fast and not paying attention. I guarantee most of the people that come off the road there were looking at their phone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because it's a nice straight road right up until you have to go around that turn, and then suddenly, if you're not paying attention, oh hey, there's no road underneath me anymore.
But you got South Walnut Grove Road, which is getting all those improvements, and then they're going to start on 1382, 1387.
Yeah,
I always get those mixed up.
1382 is the one that
it's
goes,
in Cedar Hill,
yeah, up through Cedar Hill.
But they're going to widen that, so it's going to be a cluster.
Walnut Grove has been a beating for a long time. It's been a tiny little road. It's never been well paved, and then as soon as they pave it, the trucks tear it up. And it's like a 30 zone or something like that.
It's 35.
It's 35. But, I mean, let's be honest. The natural speed to drive down that's about 40 or 45.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is. And, so it's 35. And so you've got people doing the speed limit. You've got people doing the speed limit, and you've got we got Sean joining us out here.
There we go, Sean.
And then they're being tailgated by people who want to drive really fast and all sorts of stuff. So
put your headphones on there, Sean.
Everybody, we have a special guest with us.
I do.
Sean Wilson. It's no coincidence that we're at Wilson's Seafood.
And we're going to talk to Sean.
Wilson.
Absolutely. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Man, how has this been for you since you've opened? You guys have been busy.
Wow, we are always busy.
Was that Logan in there?
Yes, Stephen and Logan were here for dinner. They came in for the fresh halibut.
Oh.
It's been great. The community's been very supportive. And things are just rocking. We're fully staffed now, which means I have the opportunity to start tinkering with the food items and playing with things.
Yeah.
We have a special person smoking salmon for us, and we're trying to get our salmon spread back like we used to have in Cedar Hill. We got some large U-10 scallops in tonight that we were grilling and serving with spinach with a little Pernod on them. And we're just starting to tinker and have fun and play with our food to make the next perfect dish.
So did you, when you envisioned this and you set out to reboot or I don't know what the actual word for it is, your restaurant, Wilson's, as David's had such a following and whatnot, did you think that moving into this community it was going to pop like it did? I mean, just from the outside looking in, you've done very well compared to...
Well, and it's no secret that, like when you're on social media and that sort of thing, Midlothian is hard on restaurants. Okay?
Yes.
Especially new restaurants. And, Sean came in here, opened up, and it's been almost universally just appreciated. The quality that he's got here, the price point is great. He's just knocking it out of the park as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I've been blessed to have such a great support staff.
Yeah.
With the kitchen manager who worked in Cedar Hill for over 10 years. The general manager here now, Stacy, worked in Cedar Hill with my dad as well. And so I anticipated the support from the community. We, as a management team, needed to be grounded and on the same page and get accustomed to the new staff to teach them the way that, we, as the Wilsons and my dad,
Right.
want things to be done. So I pretty much imagined we would continue his legacy, and then at the same time of continuing his legacy to give the town the favorites that they were used to in Cedar Hill, because he was always tinkering in the kitchen and making something new and making something different. We're continuing that perspective, as I had mentioned before, with the smoked salmon spread. We have the halibut and the scallops, and we're always working on developing something new and different.
No, that's amazing. I think it's incredible. Again, you look at other new restaurants that have come into town. You know, some guys have had an easier path than others, and I think you've pretty much set the bar.
Well, I'll tell you what.
As far as
I don't really understand how much is Sean and how much is Steven. Speaking of Steven, but this particular building is amazing. Like, it is gorgeous. I mean, I love everything about this building. I love the colors in it. I love.
To me, it's the crown jewel of Midlothian. It really is.
It is
beautiful.
I mean, this whole Founders Row is beautiful, but this is like, you know, this really is the focal point. Right
no,
here.
for sure. As I said here tonight, you know, we've been accustomed to 107-degree days the last, I don't know how long, so many I can't even count.
28,000 years.
But as we said here tonight,
Tiffany.
I mean, I literally sat here on this patio here at Wilson Seafood, watched the sunset. It's still setting
So maybe
through my
somebody
glasses,
should nominate this for the We Keep Midlothian Beautiful award. I'm just saying.
no, this is beautiful over here. It really is.
We'll have you talk about that here in a second.
Yeah, you should totally nominate it.
Oh, speaking of Mike and Joanne Williams.
Yeah, here they
Look
are.
there,
Wow.
guys.
It's always fun.
They're here.
There is some publication that we were made the round for the top 5 to vote for, like best steak and best date night,
Oh, really?
and things like that. I'll find out.
Was it Focus Daily News?
I think it was.
It's still going until next Wednesday.
Right, so we're like, if our Facebook page had a link to vote for us, it'd be awesome if we could win some awards our first year around.
So we
That's
can
the
just go to the
Wilson Seafood Facebook page.
Yep, yes.
And find the link to vote for Wilson Seafood.
Absolutely.
That would be great.
Let's see.
Well, if
Hold on, sorry, Sean.
No.
You know, Mike, we were just talking about you. The airport came up. You want to sit down and talk? When Sean's done, we'll have you sit down if you want.
Well, Sean needs to go check a couple things out inside.
Yeah, go for it, Sean. We appreciate
Some people
you.
act like they own the place.
Yeah.
It's like some people work for a living.
Yeah, I know.
Sean, thank you for hosting us.
Sean is
I
a
look forward
treasure
to
to be
trying
here,
those
I'll tell you
scallops.
what.
Yes, and we have some steaks and some other things coming out for
Oh,
y'all
all
to
right.
try.
Oh, all right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will. I've said it to many people, and I'll say it again. The best steak in Midlothian is here at Wilson's, and it's only $35.
And if Tim, what happened to my microphone?
Oh, hang on. Sorry, go ahead.
He bumped it.
Anyways,
I bumped it.
and if Tim Wilkins said it, you know it's true.
I mean, the mayor of Bob's says
Yeah,
Exactly.
I've eaten a steak before.
Yeah?
a stick or two.
Well, we got a special guest. We're going to let
Doc is in the house.
Doc sit
What's
down and
going
talk
on?
a little bit about the
And his
airport.
beautiful wife, Joanne.
Yes.
Hi there.
Oh, hang on. Try it again.
These are my skydiving buddies.
Yes, want to go for a skydive? Report.
Little
What's
plug
going
for
on,
our
Doc?
drop zone up in up
Check.
at Spaceland Dallas.
Yeah, we're probably going to be heading up there again next weekend, as a matter of fact. Yeah, we were there last weekend
Ooh,
as
the
well.
weather's going to be perfect.
Okay, so I have a question, and I'm going to ask the question, and we don't have to get into any details, but I noticed somebody had put a picture of the last city council meeting, and I saw you guys sitting down there. So I've been out of town, and was just curious, you know, what was going on and what had you up in City Hall for a meeting. Obviously, everybody knows when it comes to the airport and aviation here in Midlothian that you have been
this
and
is
are
the
a
man
big
to
part of
talk
that.
to. I'll tell you what. I mean, he's been on the board, and
So,
between.
Are you able to tell us
flying
what's
and everything
going on?
else.
Just what the issue is. You don't have to give your opinion if you don't want to.
And we
can be
realize
clearly
that
above
you weren't
board.
expecting that.
Check.
We appreciate that you're sitting down with us with no notice and with no. This is not
Check.
like a bit that we're doing. This is Mike doing us a favor.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on. Quite a bit actually been going on. And I just received a message a moment ago that Waxahachie they have voted to suspend the airport board. temporarily.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Is that good for you or not?
I'm not sure what's going on. There seems to be a lot of upset people in Waxahachie about the airport board.
What are they upset about?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. They seem to be very angry about. Well, I tried to bring a project to them. They got real upset about. Some other people have tried to bring some projects. It almost seems like they don't want the airport to develop. It's been sitting like it has for probably close to 20 years. And
just like anything, it needs some upkeep and upgrades, probably.
Right, and they kind of brought me on board, the previous mayor, and I told him I'm not a rubber stamper. I've been on a lot of boards and committees over the years through the hospital and other places, and that whole rubber stamp thing is not my thing. I really had definite ideas of what the airport needs. We know we need hangars. We know we need repairs from equipment. We have some very important stuff that's not working properly.
Right.
And I've pushed for several years now, and then so I don't know, I guess I said the wrong thing or I pushed the wrong thing and they fired me recently, so I'm no longer on the board.
Okay.
Okay, that was my next question. What happened?
Is there a Waxahachie board and a Midlothian board, or how's that work?
It's a joint board, and that was why we were at the city council.
Is that because of the logistics of where the actual property sits? Is
Correct.
It like
because you live in Midlothian.
I live in Midlothian,
right.
So yeah, and so the airport property is owned by both Midlothian and Waxahachie.
Okay.
The Seals property basically surrounds the airport, and in fact was incorporated. They took over some of their property to create the airport many years ago. Way before.
So that was a question I had: is why are they freezing the Seals from selling their property?
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I can't wrap my head around that.
That's another big issue that's developing right now, and so they pretty well blocked two development opportunities, mine and one other, and with no real reason that I can find. And that's one of the things I've been trying to do is find out what exactly is their goal. Because my goal was to improve the airport, build it up. I mean, we have one of the few airports in the Metroplex, and especially a regional airport, that has the capability and the land around it to do something very positive.
Right.
Because I was trying to bring in a hangar home development with 290 acres and hangars and homes but we needed access to the airport, and that's when they got very upset.
So, like, what happened at that last airport board meeting?
So, the last airport board meeting, the Waxahachie Mayor Pro Tem, one of their city council people, and I think the city manager was there, and they threw a pretty good fit. And so much so that one of our board members, who's a test pilot for Bell Helicopter, good friend of mine, who I'd kind of helped recruit onto the board, because currently the Midlothian side, we have 4 board members, are all aviation folks,
right?
Including me at the time. But the caliber that we have currently, unbelievable. I mean, these guys have background in aviation management, test pilot, like I said. And anyway, so the Waxahachie City Council came to the board meeting and really threw quite a fit, so much so that Josh got up and walked out. Said, I have better things to do than to be insulted like this.
Yeah.
And he walked out.
Yeah.
And Josh is a really mellow guy. He's been with Bell Helicopter for a long time and excellent pilot. I was really shocked when he did that. I understood it because we were sitting there. We videoed the whole thing. So, but I just don't understand the anger. I don't understand what we did to upset them. So backtrack to Tuesday when we were at the city council meeting, we had found out by accident that Midlothian or Waxahachie had passed a new airport board agreement, and none of us knew anything about it. Not the current board, not the previous board, no one. And it seemed like a really backroom kind of thing to do.
Is that when they moved it to like an advisory board?
That's what they were trying to do.
Okay.
The new contract was saying that the board would only be advisory. They had essentially no power. We haven't had much power as it is since I've been on the board, and I've been pushing for a lot of stuff. But So this new contract that they were trying to get, and it's a joint agreement between the two cities, was to totally take away the power of the board.
So where does Midlothian stand on this in comparison to Waxahachie?
At least more reasonable that I can tell.
Right.
I talked to a couple of different city councilmen, and they were not happy that this had happened, and they were unaware of a lot of the facts of the whole thing, and especially the fact that you're rewriting a joint agreement and you didn't involve any of the board members. That just doesn't. Yeah, something's up.
Yeah, is it just the fact? I mean, does this all come down to funds to do the upgrades and the maintenance or whatever needs to be done?
Yeah, so neither city here, I think in the last 2 years, have had to put any money into the airport. The airport's pretty much self-sufficient. We're in the black now. That hadn't been the case in a while back and pre me getting on the board. But they weren't offering up any money, and we weren't asking for any money from them, although there are some funds available, what we understand, through the Economic Development Board here, the A Board, B Board, and I truly didn't understand all that. Walter's been kind of my educator through this whole process.
I just mentioned him earlier about it.
Walter's a sharp fella, and he was trying to help us try to move the airport forward. We've got over 50 people on the waiting list for hangars.
Yeah,
right.
Yet they haven't even tried to build any hangars in years.
And that's a big revenue source, right?
Huge. That's
absolutely.
our entire revenue source.
Absolutely.
You know,
I mean,
scuttlebutt is that the A board, the MCDC, the Development Corporation, has great interest in the airport of lately.
Yeah, but there has to be something more to this because, I think they probably came in with some sort of an agenda. I mean, I heard that someone had told me that a Waxahachie board member called the board a circus, and that would pretty much started the whole process of the Midlothian board member
It's always fun when
resigning.
people call names.
Yeah, it was that and several other comments by other Waxahachie personnel. Yeah,
So they
got
came
pretty
lock and
aggressive.
loaded.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they came in.
for sure.
They were very organized. They all had their little speeches in their hands, so they had been talking about this ahead of time.
Misery likes company, I guess.
The what?
Misery likes company, I guess.
Yeah, and it was a very organized attack, and it was unbelievable. I've never seen any kind of behavior like that at any council meeting, any board meeting ever before. And they had the nerve to call us the circus. They seem to be bringing the circus to them.
Yeah, I would imagine if you were able to put, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 more hangars out there, they'd be full.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we can't build them fast enough.
No.
But is there a point where you get too many?
Well, we've got limited space.
Well,
and that's-
Spinks is probably a little bit bigger acreage, I would say.
I would think so, too. Yeah.
But, I mean, there's a ton there. I mean...
Rob's just bent out of shape because he has to keep his plane in Burleson.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly. We have a lot of locals that keep their planes elsewhere, and they should be keeping them at Midway.
Yeah.
It's really sad that we have so many local folks that have to keep their planes elsewhere, and it's because we don't have the space. Airborne Imaging has 3 beautiful DC-3s, World War II type DC-3s that they use, and they still have cloth tails. So every time one of these thunderstorms come in, they end up having to move it because hail could really damage those aircraft terribly, and they need hangars and haven't been able to build.
So has any of the Midlothian City Council members said anything? I mean, are they there to help support here, or?
Yeah, we had 2 of them very vocal at the city council meeting where I spoke and Walter spoke, and they were kind of taken aback by how this was going down. And so they tabled the decision as far as the new joint agreement. And that was my suggestion. Let's bring in
that's good.
some board members,
Let's
some
talk
past
about
and
it.
present.
Yeah.
Because there's some board members that have been around this town for a long time. I
Yeah.
met some here at Wilson's, as a matter of fact, that were here on husband and wife that had been on the board some 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And they said, and I was telling them what was going on, they said, same old, same old.
It's real unfortunate when we wind up in a situation where you have public servants, exercising power and not utilizing the knowledge and experience and wisdom that a lot of the community members have.
Yeah, never before has this board had the likes of these 4 board members. I mean, I'm just a pilot, but these guys are deep in aviation, commercial aviation, and they've run 2 of them off already, and I don't know if the others will stay.
When you guys have these airport meetings, are you represented by, or the city council, or the council members from prospective cities there as well?
Usually we have a liaison from each city there.
So when you had this last meeting at the airport, you had a liaison from when they were loaded for Bear, and did we have anybody there that night?
So that night we had our Midlothian liaison. He was mysteriously gone. The new mayor was there.
Who's the Midlothian liaison?
The mayor pro tem,
Clark. Yeah.
So he's our new.
He was out of town for work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't there for the city council meeting nor the airport board meeting.
So what did so you had Mayor Kaufman there? What did he have to say? Was he very vocal about it?
He didn't say a word. Now, technically, they're supposed to sign a little sheet, kind of like you do at the city council meetings, to be able to speak. But I would think our chair would have allowed him to speak. But none of the city of Midlothian spoke at all. And I would have thought somebody, because they have the 3-minute timer there too, but everybody completely ignored that as they went on and just on and on and on. And nobody stood up and said, whoa, this is inappropriate. We need to stop this and do this behind closed doors or something. I mean, it was awfully public to be going off like that.
Yeah.
And I don't understand where the anger was coming from, because everything that we've brought to the board has been in a positive way to build, to improve, because that airport's just set for so long and nothing's being done.
Right.
And I got on and I started doing a number of things. I hold, in fact, this Saturday morning, Walter will be doing a safety meeting for us. I started every other month. We started the Texas Air Safety. And we've been putting on, and I've been bringing in YouTube speakers, and for the last year now. And it's all about aviation safety.
Yeah.
And it has been really well attended. We've had people from all over. Do what?
They fought you on that, too.
Yeah, they fought me on that, too. They didn't want to do it.
But wait, wouldn't that reduce insurance costs to know that your pilots that are flying in and out of there are getting regular safety trainings?
Exactly.
And
yeah.
that would in turn reduce insurance costs for every citizen that's around them also, because your ratings would go down.
Potentially, yeah, exactly.
Because an airplane might not go through.
And my whole goal was to protect my friends, because
That's not good.
aviation is a very small community, and so we all know each other. And when someone goes down, well, in fact, we've had several accidents here in the area. The one in Cleveland was one of our instructors that was out here. She was one of my instructors. And, I mean, it was a bad aeronautical decision-making that seemed to have caused that accident. And that's what causes a lot of accidents. So I've started watching a lot of these YouTube videos, and I've gotten involved with the whole AQP program, and with Dan Greider and Scott Perdue and Aviation 101 with Josh Flowers, and I've been in communication with those guys. And I didn't know any better. I just said, can you come out and do a lecture? And they said, oh, yeah, come on. And everybody was shocked that we got him in here. Well, sometimes you just got to ask.
You just have to ask.
So what happens if an airport like this isn't properly maintained and it just eventually dies out? I mean,
and unfortunately that happens.
I hate to be devil's advocate here, but could there be any advantage to not doing anything?
So
like somebody coming in and pull it out.
I don't pull it out often, but I carry a tinfoil hat around with me sometimes, and so I would ask: Does a city or a county get more tax money from an airport, a small airport, or does it get more tax money if we just say made the whole thing a big neighborhood?
That's one of the questions I have too.
Well, that's my first thought. So why would you not want to improve the only airport you have really around here?
Well, I mean,
unless you've got an ulterior motive, and I mean that's what you can't help but think that. I mean, this is a podcast. We talk about these things, so sometimes they're not always.
Right now, it's being taxed at commercial value, though, and not residential value. When you put a resident in there, you're going to have homestead exemptions and things like that. Commercial value, you can just really go with whatever. So I don't see any tax benefit for them, other than you could get more rooftops in there than you can.
More rooftops, and also the surrounding rooftops are valued higher.
Yeah.
Because you don't have an airport flying over you.
Right. So I keep trying to figure out what their motivation is, why the anger. Is that what they want to do, destroy the airport and build something else? I don't know.
Could the new Bridgewater have anything to do with it?
That was one of the proposed constructions.
But that's on the Midlothian side. What would Waxahachie have to
exactly? I don't understand
to gain by
what's going on there. There's a lot more questions than answers. There's got to be some motivation for them to be as angry as they've been and so aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point of kicking me off the board. They said it was because I said hoo-ha and shit show. But
well,
I'm an old Aggie Navy.
Well, we're not going to
get
y'all better
podcast
for that.
So.
You know, come on now.
Well, Sean just brought us some food here.
Sean is wonderful. This place is absolutely wonderful.
No, it's incredible.
So what do we have?
Okay, so over here,
Ribeye.
we
got a ribeye?
we got a ribeye with their. So these potatoes only come with the ribeye, and they're delicious. They're fried potatoes, but there's some sort of swirly seasoned
We call
thing.
them sidewinder.
Sidewinder fries. Okay, there you go. You got that.
I've never
John?
had
All
those.
right.
Got that.
And I've had almost everything here.
And then the halibut that you have, John, cut up into small pieces to serve with the rosemary butter, blue cheese mashed potatoes, and broccolini.
The blue cheese mashed potatoes are phenomenal.
And what's the butter? What's butter here?
It's a rosemary butter.
Oh, nice.
Eat it.
I'm going to.
Yeah, and I don't like blue cheese, but I love those potatoes.
You guys got an extra pork back there?
So 5 hangars at the airport. One
Thank
of
you,
them's
Sean.
the jet,
Thank
the
you.
Thompson pipe jet, I believe. I think.
I'm not familiar with that.
There is a jet that's housed at
Yes, I
Midway.
believe so.
Yeah, Ken Thompson's.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Thompson pipe. Yeah. And then I guess four others. Yeah, it doesn't leave a lot of space for.
No, there's not a lot of space, and we've been on a wait list for years, and it took me a long time to get a hangar.
You have one there, right?
Yes, I have one there. Yeah. So
Are you in danger of losing your hanger?
I wouldn't think so, but
There's
the
been
lease
talk
is
about like somebody trying to kick people out of their hangars.
Yeah, and I think that was a misunderstanding, and there's a lot more to that. Our hangar leases, though, are a month-to-month.
Right.
And that's something that makes everybody nervous.
Oh, of
they
course.
could theoretically kick our butts
Interesting.
out.
That's interesting to know.
Yeah, so that's kind of scary.
The meeting is that they were told to try and kick them out, but I don't know.
Yeah, there was a misunderstanding about that whole deal. There is some movement toward doing some serious construction at the airport that I'm not at liberty to talk about.
And that's
but
understandable.
We need to get moving. I'm a get her done kind of guy, and this has been the slowest. I've been on the board, or was on the board, for about 3 or 4 years, and so little has been accomplished. It's just sad. And I started pushing, and that's when I got canned. So.
And that's why they've suspended the board, because as long as you're a rubber stamper and you're saying, okay, and whatever they want, then you're safe. But if not, then you go suspended.
Well, need to get this figured out.
Yes, please.
Folks in Midlothian, if you
Well, tell us what we need to do to help.
yeah,
I mean,
what is the community
what's
need?
up from
Well,
us?
I will say that I feel like the airport board gets the least amount of citizen press. Appreciation, acknowledgement, all of that. I mean, y'all do a lot.
You'd be surprised how many people in this town don't even know we have an airport.
And it's all voluntary.
I would not
Yeah.
be surprised.
Yes.
I literally have conversations all the time where, we have an airport.
Yes, exactly.
Like, you
John.
don't see the paragliders out there every Sunday. Like, come on, where are they coming from?
Actually, they
Yes.
don't come out of there. They come out of south.
That's a glider. I'm talking about the people with the parachutes.
Yeah, so the paragliders,
okay.
we also have gliders at Midway, but
Okay.
Texas Soaring Association is down south.
By me, across
Yeah.
the street from me.
Yeah, so there's a big glider operation there. We have a small glider operation at Midway,
Okay.
and the Big Q operation. They train in tail draggers and gliders. I just soloed in glider while my Mooney's been in the shop.
Yeah, no.
Joanne even flew glider.
We've actually now gotten signs. So on 14th Street, you have a turnaround to where it shows Midway Airport that was not there. And John, I'm going to really mess up his last name, Peroya, had that done. I mean, he has put in so much time, but he got to the point where he also resigned. When they were trying to change everything, then he was done with it, because it's just a lot of work to do. I mean,
Yeah.
you're trying to do something good,
You can't get beat down for
and you're constantly getting beat down.
Yeah, it's like all these positions. People volunteer to do this because they want to, because they care about something. You don't get paid for it.
Right.
I mean, you're not paying your bills with this. And
No.
when you have these unnecessary headaches, a lot of times people, you lose a really good thing that could have really helped any organization, whether it's the airport. I mean, it can go for any of these organizations here in our city, but
And what's so sad is that I have been the one to say, you know what, I'm just done with this. Just like they've gotten to their point, I was at my point a long time ago to being done with it and go somewhere else because we don't need this.
yeah.
I mean, you can go somewhere else, but what's so sad is then no one else is fighting for the tenants at Midway.
Right.
And so,
Yes. So I just started a Tenants and Pilots Association. They've never had one of those at the airport, so we're getting that started right now. I know I'm not making them happy by doing a lot of this stuff, but I'm all about safety. The whole reason I got on board was to improve safety at the airport, to improve the airport, to get hangars built, which they just seem to not ever be able to do. And we had Bell Helicopter looking at us at one time, and they walked because of various issues.
And they're over there in Arlington now, right?
Yeah,
They
they've
have
been in
been
Arlington
forever.
for a
Well,
long time.
if you don't get a handle on this now, you're going to end up with an airstrip like Cisco
Yep.
here in Midlothian that you can't fly into at night because there's no lights. I mean, you're doing it blindly. We've done it before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean,
half the time we don't have AWAS.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
AWAS has been a problem.
so-
I've been complaining about that for a while, but it's been a long, complicated, and I don't understand all the politics and stuff. There's so much involved with it, and I know I probably stepped on some toes because I'm a doc, so I give an
Yeah.
order and it gets done. I
Right.
don't have to fire and forget. Not in city politics. Oh my gosh,
Right.
So much,
crazy.
so many steps.
Absolutely crazy.
Doc, I appreciate you talking about this. I wasn't 100% sure that you would even want to. I think you kind of were left backed in a corner. You could have said no. I'm not.
To be
but
fair, we were kind of hoping you would be here, and since it's Wilson's, we thought there was a good chance you would be.
Yes,
well,
we're
this
here
is
a
kind
lot.
of chicken shit since we were already told no. Actually,
Well, I'm actually anxious to talk about it, and I really would like to see more citizen involvement. And that was my whole thing at the airport. When you came to the airport board meetings, unless you signed up things correctly and everything, you didn't get to talk. So that was one of the things we did get changed in the last year or so, was that if you come to the board meeting, you got to sign a little paper so they know who you are, but you don't have to specifically just speak to the air. You can speak to a specific agenda item.
Right.
And that was not the way before. And it was very difficult. And people were really kind of put back, and so nobody was coming to the meeting. So I and John and Josh, we moved the meeting to later, and they had it at 4 p.m. We thought, well, people work, it's hard to get here for me to get there at 4 p.m. So we moved it to 6 p.m. so people that get off work, but then immediately they wanted to move it back because nobody showed up. Well, wait a minute. We've had an atmosphere of don't talk, and everything's really kind of secretive at the airport, and now we're starting to finally open that up, and that's part of the reason for the association, so we can kind of get the word out, because I tried to get the word out, and they wouldn't allow me to use the mass email address they have. They said that was some kind of violation. I mean, I've just been, every step of the way I've been fought, and I've been trying really hard to make the airport more safe and get it going, get it building, because there is really not this type of an airport opportunity throughout the Metroplex. Everything's grown up, everything's closed up, and to have homes and of course businesses too. We'd love to have more aviation businesses out there, but they're not knocking on the door. And if you don't build it, they ain't going to come.
Exactly.
I'm afraid.
Absolutely.
And that's really, we need to start building stuff, and the cities need to get all on the same page. Right now, I don't know what page they're on.
if any of our listeners out there are listening to this and have any words of advice and or substance to help, or anything to add to this, reach out to us. We'll put you in touch with Doc here. And then to our city leaders out there that listen, help a guy out. At least sit with them and explain to him what he doesn't understand.
I'd like more, more
yeah,
data.
just,
Also mentioned that this Saturday we're having our safety meeting, and Walter Dara is putting on a maintenance, and maintenance is number one, safety.
Absolutely.
And that is so important.
It's what he does. I mean, he has a maintenance.
Yeah, and everybody's invited to our safety meetings. We don't care if you fly or not. Maybe you'll like to fly. And I also joined the EAA program, so Young Eagles program. So we fly kids for their first flights, and then they get a free ground school. So yeah, I'm
and
trying
Dorian
to.
can be a pilot now.
Yes.
My son's type 1 diabetic, so until 2 years ago he couldn't be a pilot, but now he could do that.
But they
Will you take me for a ride? I haven't been up in a long time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I would love to.
The Moody's still in the shop. I test flew it this week, and we had a lot of problems. Squawks, we call them.
So
they're working on
society's
it.
changing altogether. I'm seeing it. I was having this conversation with one of my mentors this morning, and just about business in general. It's and this can relate to any industry. This next generation of youth that's coming along, they're into different things. Not only that, the ability to earn money has changed. We live in a world where 15-year-old YouTubers are knocking down $5 million a month. Okay,
Right.
that was not
That's
a
what we
source
make
of
here,
that
right?
that was not a source of income. Cricket. That was not a source of income 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
No.
Content creators. I mean, it's ridiculous. The TikTok money. It's crazy. I won't even get into OnlyFans, but
Please don't.
That's not what I've heard.
But my point is,
I'm going to sell toenail clippings.
is that there is literally a whole new world of earning potential in different veins that you didn't have earlier. So my point to this, and I'll get to it. What do you see on social media as a status of success with the youth?
It's how many people
high-end cars, their airplanes. I mean, literally, people wanting to become pilots and fly these days are happening,
and it's not easy
at a different rate than they probably. I'm guessing. I'm not 50, but 50 years ago, it was more. It was more expensive to learn how to fly, or you had to have more. Probably still have to have the credentials, but it's more popular. I mean, I've got friends my age that I never would have, thought would be interested in that. That are now taking courses to become a pilot. It's more popular,
Things have changed a lot. Yeah, you're exactly right. They have changed quite a bit.
And you can get a plane for
as much as you can for an
affordable.
Well, the price has gone up a little bit.
Yeah, but
it has gone up a little bit. But yeah, and general aviation is the where that starts for commercial, for military pilots. General aviation is where a lot of it starts, and that's why the Young Eagles program is so cool, because we get to fly these kids, and then I get to sign off on a little logbook, and they get a free ground school from Sporties. It's fantastic.
Super
cool.
Has out there for the young.
CAP, yeah,
Midway does have
CAP, yeah.
Mike, I think Tiffany may die if you don't take her up at some point.
Are going to absolutely.
I was over here.
I'm first. I asked first.
And
So we do have a Cessna that is flight worthy, but my Mooney is finishing up hopefully this week.
I heard all that. I heard all
that. That's we can go anytime.
We can go up in the Cessna. We have the Cessna 150 and a 172, which the 172 I didn't have a good takeoff. I had to abort. But you can definitely go up in that, and you will love it.
I'm sure I will. I am absolutely sure I will. One of my bucket list things is actually gliding, like ultralight.
I did that too.
That would be,
and that was.
But also this would be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do it. I'm terrified of flying.
You have to tell them.
Really?
Are you really?
I really am.
Really? That's a shocker.
Come
Actually,
skydiving with me.
It won't happen.
you should.
Now, you know what? I've always
Then
wanted to
what happens when
skydive.
you
I always thought that would be cool. It's kind of like jumping out of the. It's like
good
sticking your
airplane.
head out of a car at 100 miles an hour, right?
It is
Yes. So let me
very
tell
much,
you
very
about my skydiving experience.
and I went skydiving together.
Okay, no, I will do it again, but I want to do what's that one where you don't have as long of a free fall? What's that one called?
Hop and pop?
A hop and pop. I'd
Yeah.
rather do a hop and pop because free fall was not for me. Now, here's the reason why. It is June. It's like 98,000 degrees on the ground, but not a single person said, "You've got a lightweight hoodie on. Tuck your hood back and wear it up to the top because it might be a little chilly."
Hoodie on.
I did not. I
Well,
didn't.
she took it off.
I took it off because I didn't want to hit anybody in the face. So I go up and I'm like...
And this is somebody who gets very cold very easily.
No.
Yeah, no, this is perfect weather right now.
Joanne does too.
So I go up and he's got a different perspective on this story. It doesn't matter because the part that he's talking about, I didn't register that the guy miscounted. I was just like, oh God, here we go. Anyway, but it was cold. And it made my nose run, which made it go up in my eye, which then I had, you're supposed to hold, so I can't like wipe it out of my eye. But the more, and then if I turned my face to keep the air from going up my nose, it just made it go further into my eye.
Didn't you wear goggles?
I did, but like, it was like,
They must have not been very tight.
it was,
Yeah,
it was
not
going,
properly fitted.
It wasn't going into my actual
They're
eye.
just super
It was
cheap.
just going across.
So it's
The
and
like-
goggles they give you every.
we
Yeah,
went
it's
to
for her tandem.
We went to
Yeah.
my tandem at Skydive Dallas.
Oh, you've got.
Yeah.
So you've
Spaceland,
got to
yeah.
go again.
It was Skydive
So,
Dallas. So
my
long.
son-
Skydive Dallas
It is
forever.
just amazing.
You get her
You'll
started
love
on
it.
skydiving, she'll
You'll
love
love it.
Oh no, I'm not. I
She's
just
done.
live like
So you can
the.
do
She's done.
hovercrafts
I
when you get your
prefer-
license.
No thanks.
So that's what I've been working on is my hop and pops. Because
I would-
my perfect landing, I've got to get my perfect
Somebody's got to
landing.
put a boot in my ass.
I wish. I wish more than anything that I was able to record the look on her face when she went out the door, because she wasn't expecting it.
Yeah,
the guy
'cause-
that she was strapped to said, okay, we're gonna go on 3, right? You go 1, 2, 3. So he goes 3, and goes straight out the door, no back and forth.
And
her face as she started you could tell she realized that they were leaned over to the point of no return, and her face just started to change. as
And they
went
do
out the
that on
door.
purpose, just so that you don't, at the very last
It's
minute,
fine.
pull them back.
Oh no, I wasn't going to. I knew that at that point, A, I was too cheap to waste that money, and B,
She is very cheap.
and B, no, I just needed to get it out of the way. But no, he tells it like there. I heard a 2. There was a 1.
No, it was
there
amazing.
A 2, there was a 3.
He told. I was sitting next to her husband, and the guy leaned over and told us that hey, why don't you hang back and watch us go out the door?
It was the only way it was going to happen,
But
honestly.
you
So it
have
didn't
your
matter.
skydiving license, correct, Tim?
He wants to get it.
I'm in the program. I'm still in
You're
the
working.
process. I'm doing solo jumps, but I don't have my license.
Overachiever.
So you need to get back out there.
So yeah, it's always a timing issue for me.
I know.
Get it you got to drive 2 hours up there, and
We'll be up there in 2 weeks.
Well,
and then sometimes you wait
and
3
you
to
can do
where.
it in a week. You can go.
No, you're right.
and
You're right. I should
finish
just
it
take.
in
I
1
should
week.
take an entire week and go just get it out of the way. But my son, my older son, he just turned 17. He is dying to go.
So
Are you
need to
serious?
Get your license before he turns 18.
Yeah.
That actually
yeah.
shocks me.
Evan? Oh no, he's actually he's real mellow, but he's into the shenanigans.
No,
That's super shocking to me.
I'm staying on the ground. Well, you guys, it's been a great first show back.
It's a long one.
Long one, but that's
Tasty one, I'll
okay.
tell you what.
He's back.
Hold on. What'd you get?
I got
Cedar
the
plank
cedar plank
salmon with teriyaki glaze.
Well,
That's accurate.
Oh.
I need to verify these potatoes are good, but
they have butter in them, I guarantee.
They are.
well,
I've
I
already
told
eaten
him I
all
had
these.
butter.
Oh, okay,
But so he may have made them special.
I think
I
those
don't
are
know.
garlic potatoes.
And then I've got some veg over here, which I'm real good with.
It looks really good, Steph.
delicious.
I haven't tried the protein yet.
Excellent.
Tim barely shared that steak.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
like
want
he,
to.
he's like a Wolverine on prey.
I was like, I
Let me
thought
He
tell
that
said he
steak
loves the
was for
steak.
me.
He says it's the best steak in
This
town
is
in
the
his
best steak in
opinion.
town.
you, I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
the fresh halibut was amazing. Oh,
Okay, this
that
salmon,
was-
I've now tasted it. It is delicious.
Yeah, no.
yeah, their salmon is top quality.
Yeah.
It's really good stuff.
100%.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We're back. Season 4, I guess we established. Cement City Chatter Podcast. Tiffany got here. Better late than never, as always.
I mean,
Next week, we'll be live
I
from
gave
the
you a
Opoka
warning.
Palace. Thanks to Doc and Joanne Williams for coming out and talking to
Yeah,
us
thank
tonight.
you.
It's always a pleasure.
Come out Saturday.
Come out Saturday.
Saturday.
8 o'clock
8:30.
at 8:30 for
Yeah, Walter.
Walter Dara.
Safety meeting.
Midway
Everybody.
Airport.
Yeah.
Everybody come out. Want to thank Sean Wilson for having us and feeding us.
Great food. If y'all get a chance, you haven't been to Wilson Seafood,
come on out to Wilson.
You are missing out.
Nominate them for. We keep.
Yeah, go to their website. Nominate them for. They're already in a contest right now for Ellis County. Nominate them for Keep Midlothian Beautiful. If you don't want to just do it, then I suggest you come up here and see for yourself. Make a believer out of you.
The link is on their webpage.
I'm sorry, their link is on their Facebook page.
Oh, hey, one more thing I need to mention is the homecoming parade. We got the thing. Homecoming parade on October.
Hey, the train's here.
Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead.
I think it's October 4th.
Homecoming parade's coming up. Midlothian, we love you.
Homecoming parade on
train for Tater.
October 4th.
October 4th.
We're lining up at 4:30. Parade starts at 6.
Real quick, guys. I'm sorry. I know we're trying to wrap up, but there's been something important go on. A lot of people in the community know Tater Beard. And Tater had an accident on a job site, which wouldn't have been much, except there was some standing water that contained
bacteria.
What's called flesh-eating bacteria. And he got an infection and lost part of his foot. Well, apparently the infection was not removed with the part of his foot, and so they've had to go back and take more of his leg. And this last week he had his
below
foot
the knee.
Yeah, it was halfway up the calf. And so we have a. We'll put the link on Midlothian Talk.
That's fair. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll put the link on Midlothian Talk, but we have a meal train for Tater. Tater is one of these guys. If you don't know him, I'd be surprised because he's involved in all sorts of things. He works for the community all the time. He calls the games on the radio, the football games.
TNT Radio.
Yep, TNT Radio with Todd. He's on the board of the Mile, our CTE school here in town. This is just someone whose heart is really with the community, and it is time for the community to give back to him. So keep an eye out on Midlothian Talk for the meal train for him.
Do we have a GoFundMe page for anything?
No, we don't have a GoFundMe page, but you can donate on that meal train.
Yeah,
also.
the meal train has.
Okay, we will post
a
link
small,
to that.
Yeah. They have a small donation area in the meal train as well.
It looks like right now all of September is filled. We're looking for October meals.
Yep. So this is your opportunity to give back to somebody who gives greatly to this community, and keep him in your prayers, please.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. With that, everybody say a prayer for Tater, and we're out.
We'll talk to you guys next week.
Peace out, y'all.
Later.
We're out.
Had a headache.